Your league has never made money. Shut the up. Why are you asking for anything? The game itself taking a back seat that America doesn't really give a shit about. Clearly, there are smart people who are betting on the WNBA to become profitable. How are you in a position to demand more money? Here is where I come to not entirely bury them for that. The WNBA All-Star game. Yes, the new Midsummer Classic that America doesn't really give a shit about. In case you care, Team Collier beat Team Clark 151-131 in Indianapolis this weekend. Caitlin Clark out of action due to a groin injury. And the game itself taking a backseat to the players' visible show of solidarity. WNBA players in the process of putting together a new collective bargaining agreement, and they're not happy. They're not happy. In fact, the players showing up wearing these shirts. Take a look at this. Caitlin Clark among them. There you see Angel Reese among the group as well. Pay us what you owe us is the message of the WNBA Players Association as they look ahead to the next collective bargaining agreement. And this has sort of lit social media up because there's a lot of people who helpfully would like to point out something that you may very well already know. The WNBA has never been profitable. In its roughly 30-year history, the league has never turned a profit. 2024, the league lost somewhere around the order of $40 million. That is actually up from what it used to be. From about 2017 to 2022, the WNBA was losing about $10 million a year, which is the closest that it's ever come to financial solvency. But it has spiked back to the $40 to $50 million range, largely because of chartered flights. These women were flying commercial. Somebody said something to Brittany Griner in an airport, as I recall, and suddenly the next thing you know, everybody's got chartered flights because it's a safety issue and whatnot. Never mind that we're already $10 million a year in debt. We're going to add that. Salaries have gone up too, but obviously not enough to please the ladies of the WNBA. And here is where I come to not entirely bury them for that, because I know that a take that people have on this is, your league has never made money. Shut the fuck up. Why are you asking for anything? And I get that. I understand that point of view, obviously. How are you in a position to demand more money when your league has been, still is, might always be, we don't know for sure, financially crippled and just going nowhere? Why do you think that you deserve more money? Well, let's start by saying there is a new 11-year deal starting next year with Disney, Amazon, NBC. $2.2 billion coming into this league. TV money. All right, so somebody thinks that this league is going to be profitable. Clearly. We talked about how these expansion franchises are now commanding $250 million. Somebody thinks that this league is about to become profitable. Because I'm here to tell you, rich assholes don't invest $250 million into something that they think is going to lose them money. So clearly, there are smart people. Now, whether it works out or not, we'll see. But clearly, there are smart people who are betting on the WNBA to become profitable in the near future, relatively near future at least, and they're willing to put their money where their mouth is. So the players wore the shirts. And yes, if the players are negotiating this contract based off of the history of the league, they would say, yes, please pay us anything. give us a 4% cost of living increase over the course of the next several years, and we will happily sign because we're just fucking lucky to be getting paid anything to play basketball in this league that has always been dead. However, I'm a capitalist, and I love this country, and I love the idea of going out and making as much money as the free market will allow you to make. And here's one thing I know, even though I'm not an expert on economics: you are worth what somebody is willing to pay you. So how much can these players extract from the league? I mean, hey, look, $2.2 billion coming in of television money. You got to have players to go on the TV to do that with, don't you? And these are the players. So I don't blame the players for trying to get more money. The t-shirts, well, I don't know about the optics of that. Don't act like you're historically abused in some way, but collective bargaining being what it is, we'll see. That's not the only tension in the WNBA right now. We have heard the whispers, which have basically become a dull roar over the course of this season, about the officiating. It seems that when the ladies of the WNBA aren't fighting each other, they're joining together in the one thing that they can agree on, which is the officiating sucks. WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert says that the league is on it. They're dealing with it. She comments that fouls are up, fouls being called at a higher rate than they've been called in the league since 2017. So there are fouls being called, just not as many as some of the players in the league would like. And if you hear the players tell it, they should all be going to the line about 10 times a night, at least. Kelsey Plum doesn't like it. Caitlin Clark has not been as vocal, probably, as she could be. Even Angel Reese has tweeted a picture of her being fouled and saying, "Where is the whistle?" So it's the one thing that they can all agree on. Kathy Engelbert saying, as a fan of sports for 60 years now, I know that no one's ever happy with officiating. All sports deal with it. We're working hard to make sure we're putting the best product on the court. I'm sure we haven't heard the last of the complaints about the officiating. And I don't know if ESPN is getting any complaints about Elle Duncan. Elle Duncan going there this weekend at the WNBA All-Star game, commenting on the, let's say, lack of attempt to stop scoring, and she likened it to something pretty interesting. Let's listen.
Season long. So,
all right. Yeah. Well, again, we hope it gets a little bit more competitive because, like a girls' trip to Cancun right now, there's no D. It's a 22-point game for Team Collier. That's a walk-off. Sabrina Ionescu, there she is from the 4-point circle. Second half action from Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Tips after this.
Elle, you're in timeout.
Okay.
You're done.
Couldn't get to that commercial break fast enough, I'm sure. Elle Duncan saying it's like the girls' trip to Cancun. There's no D. Take that however you will. I don't know if that means that they can't find any men. If maybe it was a lesbian trip to Cancun. I don't know what she means exactly, but I'm pretty sure it was a penis reference. Ronnie T-shirts, didn't expect her to go there. The 4-point shot made its debut this weekend at the game. Paige Beckers drilled the first 4 of the game, and there you see from the AT&T fucking hotspot, or whatever they were calling it. And I really hope that we don't see this gimmick incorporated more widely into basketball. You look at how fucked up basketball has gotten because of the 3-point shot. And if anybody out there thinks, I know how we'll fix it, let's add a 4-point shot and see how the law of unintended consequences emerges from that idea. Paige Beckers also in the news because it came out, it's public knowledge now that she's officially dating Azzi Fudd, her former teammate at Connecticut. As Ronnie has pointed out on the program, WNBA is that rare league where you might see somebody getting D'd up by their spouse or going to the line and maybe they get fouled by their girlfriend. But AZ Fudd is not a WNBA player. I suppose that she just didn't have the ability to get to the next level, but we certainly wish them a lot of happiness. And she's a senior, I'm being told. I looked her stats up, Tim. She had played 4 years. Is she one of these gets a 5th year because of COVID, people? Is that the rule? All right, there you go. All right, well, maybe she will make it. She averaged about 13 points a game last year for Gino Auriemma. Maybe they will be teammates one day. I don't know. We'll see. I'm just excited because she's only the second person that I've ever heard of whose last name is Fudd. I've been waiting my entire life since I was a kid. I thought Elmer was the only Fudd that there was in the world. We finally be very quiet. I'm going to marry my teammate. When I was a kid, motherfuckers were getting shot in the face in like 38% of cartoons. It was totally normal. Why is Daffy Duck's bill on the back of his head? Well, Elmer Fudd just fucking shot him in the face from point blank range. Is that really necessary? Apparently he found it necessary. God damn it. Scottie Scheffler found it necessary to go to Northern Ireland and just lay the wood to the field at the Open Championship this weekend. He brings home the claret jug, winning by 4 shots over Harris English, and there was really no drama involved. He went out there and sucked the oxygen out of the field, a lot like Tiger Woods. And the Tiger Woods comparisons start to grow now as Scottie Scheffler, now at the age of 29, the number 1 player in the world, now has 4 major championships, winning the PGA and the Open Championship this year to add to his 2 green jackets. So now the Scottie Scheffler O-meter, we start to look at it and ask ourselves the question, how high can he go? How many can he win? I think he could go double digits. I really do. You're looking at a guy that is so grounded. We talked about his comments last week ahead of the tournament where he said winning brings you temporary excitement. It brings you temporary fulfillment, but that he finds his greatest joy in being a husband and a father. A guy who has that kind of balance in his life is a dangerous man, and Scottie Scheffler has shown absolutely no indication whatsoever that he is going to slow down. He's got about a 10-year window in front of him potentially, and we'll see how many he can get. I think he has a shot to go to double figures. He is only the 3rd player to win 4 majors by 3 or more shots. The only other 2 guys to do it, Jack Nicklaus and Tiger Woods. So Scottie could possibly weave his way into that picture as the 3rd best of all time. Time will tell. But let's listen to his comments because he really did create a buzz last week when he talked about the relative unimportance to him of his golfing accomplishments. He clarified and elaborated after winning the British Open.
I've worked since I was 2 or 3 years old to have a chance to play professional golf for a living. And now I've been able to win tournaments that I just dreamed of playing in. And it's an amazing feeling, and I'm so grateful to be able to live out my dreams. But, like I said, my faith in my family is what's most important to me. And I try to live as normal a life as possible because I feel like a normal guy. I have the same friends I had growing up. I don't think that I'm anything special just because, some weeks I'm better at shooting a lower score than other guys are.
He's like Joe Walsh. He's just an ordinary, average guy, except for he can go to literally any golf course in the world and shoot a 61 at any given moment. Other than that, he's just like you or me. It's nice to see Americans going global and succeeding. We've always been trailblazers as a nation. Remember that time that our first prince was better than any prince that Great Britain ever produced? You know what I'm talking about. You can have Charles. You can have William. You can have Harry. You can have every one of those blue bloods that they've ever thrown at us through the years. We dropped our prince from the great state of Minnesota. And with that being said, I now wish to welcome to the program the international streaming star who joins me from Nashville, Tennessee, Music City. He is, of course, Ronnie T-Shirts. So, Ron, how about the guy, I almost hate to pile on, because I was going to ask you, well, how's your weekend been? This actually happened before we broke last week early. Thursday was our last show of the week last week. This hadn't really gotten into the news yet.
Right.
But Andy Byron, the CEO of Astronomer, whatever the fuck that is, I don't care. He's a fucking CEO.
Do they make telescopes?
That's
what do
all
they
that's
do?
important to this. I don't know what the fuck they do, but he is the guy who has gone around the world and back for getting caught on camera during a Coldplay concert with his arms around somebody with whom it appears he was having a business mixed with pleasure situation happening. Everybody has seen this by now. If I'm breaking this to you, I don't know where you've been for the past few days, because this has been everywhere that there is. Even the Philly Phanatic is getting in on the action, Ronnie. Take a look at this. Now, here we are. We all see these things. It's like the kiss cam, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look at this. Just fans out enjoying Philadelphia Phillies baseball. And then there we are. Oh, no. You hate it when that happens, Ron. You're out just there. Oh, dear. I didn't even know the Philly Phanatic was married until this point, Ron. But apparently he is, in fact, married. Oh, there you go. That guy brings in the sign, helpfully letting everybody know that he's not practicing infidelity on the Jumbotron, but clearly trouble for the Phanatic and his side chick there.
Yeah.
That we're calling. I don't know, Ron.
Well, Rick,
they're now calling it. They're calling it being Coldplayed, Ron. If you see this, it's apparently going to be entering the vernacular.
Well, Coldplay actually, right after that, so this guy, who's a CEO, he was with, if I'm wrong, I apologize. It's like the VP of human resources, director, something like that, high level human resource person. And, just like the Philly Phanatic with the, I don't know, what's the girl Philly Phanatic called? Mrs. Phanatic? I don't even know. He was doing the same thing. He got caught on camera holding this woman in a very loving, happy kind of, way. Well, he put out a statement where he apologized for everything, but then he kind of threw some blame that, like, how dare you videotape me doing this? So Coldplay then tweeted
that wasn't real, was it?
Oh, I think it was. And then Coldplay actually tweeted out that they were now going to have sections of the crowd that were camera free for anybody that has a side piece, making fun of the whole situation. Listen, man, this guy, so he's not with the company anymore. I don't know if he got fired, he resigned, whatever it was. He's just dumb. Like, you're not getting fired because you cheated. You're fired because you're dumb. Like, you don't ever put yourself in that kind of a situation if you are somewhat of a public figure. And being the CEO of a big company, you're kind of a public figure. So
oh dear. It's bad when I get dragged into it.
It's easy and Page.
I mean,
that's just
that is
the statement though.
We look so happy.
A bogus statement that was made went around? The one where he was complaining about being caught on the Jumbotron? Was that a real statement from him or not?
I thought it was a real statement. Maybe I got caught.
I don't know. Maybe
but
Jared
that was
needs to look
adorable.
into that.
That was that
was
right
adorable.
there. Well, there was
That's
nothing
what
wrong
love
with
looks
it.
Like.
It's a loving relationship.
Yeah.
We have a loving relationship. I don't see anything wrong with it, Ricky.
Yeah, that's just two men having fun at a concert. And if there's anything wrong with that, I don't even,
I don't want to go to concerts.
If that's wrong, I don't want to be right. Quite frankly, Ron, if we can be honest. But now Coldplay is forever going to be associated with this. Before, the most embarrassing thing that could happen at a Coldplay concert, if you got up on a screen, was you were seen in public at a Coldplay concert.
For sure.
That used to be that used to be the most embarrassing thing, and now it's not anymore. All right, Ronnie, let's waste no time in kicking off the week. It's not really a Monday in this great country of ours until I lean back slightly and tell you that it's time for America's Bowl of the Day, and let's go to it now. It's Summer 70 Sports on X, where the eagle flies high and then warmly embraces you around your midriff while Chris Martin sings Yellow on stage. And today we have 4 interesting options, and I have already heard a rumor that this one is very, very close. I have not looked at it, but I'm just going to go ahead and tell you now. I got a text from Matt Lawson, saw it come through. I didn't click on it because I didn't want any more details, but he was telling me that this one may be historically close. So I am going to go ahead and say that. This poll, I wish I could take credit for the historical closeness. This poll today, Ronnie, comes to us courtesy of the great Rex Crum.
Oh,
sent me a text yesterday and suggested this. I took one look at it. I could find no fault. And I said, all right, tomorrow it is. And so here we are. Your choices, Ronnie. Apocalypse Now. $2 bills. Popsicles. And Steve Miller Band. Break it down for me, Ronnie, as only you can.
So so Apocalypse Now came out in 1979. I don't know why I've never seen it, but I have never seen it. I have heard people really like it. I don't know. Maybe I need to watch it. I do like war movies. I think maybe back then I didn't, and that's probably why I didn't watch it when it came out. And now just, there's so much to watch. I haven't watched it, so maybe I will make a point to watch it. $2 bills, dude. I cannot tell you the thrill that I got when I was a kid. If you got a $2 bill, it was kind of like you got the golden ticket from Willy Wonka, right? Like, it was so exciting. And so now, of course, who cares? But back when you were a kid, $2 bills were magical, man. Popsicles. I just bought a box of sugar-free popsicles the other day, so I still like popsicles, Ricky. And Steve Miller Band, I'm not a real big fan of that genre of music, but Steve Miller Band is the exception. I love Steve Miller.
Rock and roll, Ron.
That kind.
Way of saying
yeah, I don't
like
really. Yeah, I don't like that kind of 70s rock. It's just not really my. That it's not really my thing. I'm more of an angry rock like Linkin Park. But Steve Miller Band, Lori and I saw him in concert 2 years ago here in Nashville. Dude's 80 years old and still just killing it, man. Absolutely, he was killing it. Steve Miller Band has so many good songs. I would have to go personally with Steve Miller Band or $2 bills. I normally go nostalgia, and I'm going to go Steve Miller Band today.
All right, Steve Miller Band, a little bit unexpected. They do have a lot of good songs. Take the Money and Run, Jet
Abracadabra,
Rockin' Me. Yeah.
Big old Harry.
There's a bunch.
Yeah.
China.
Yeah. Well, that is I believe that I hear producer Tim. Let's bring him in here and get his thoughts on this. What I have been led to believe is a very competitive Monday America's Poll of the Day, Tim. How do you see it?
Stupendous effort from Rex Crum. I know we have a guest now for tomorrow or Wednesday based on the what appears to be we've achieved the golden sombrero. Oh, that's a bad thing, right? We don't like golden shower, but you're going to be really happy with your 4 picks here. And the results. America has restored my confidence, certainly the Super 70s audience. Steve Miller Band was old even when I was in college, but we definitely listened to it. We also changed the words to a lot of them, including big old jet airliner. You can figure in the words.
What was it?
Yeah, big old Harry, and then you know what else? Popsicles, tremendous. Popsicles is just.
Did you pronounce it vagina? Like you were like one of the Kennedys? Is that like
But
John Kennedy?
No, I have not been in New England that long. Thank goodness.
It's a big old hairy vagina. I don't know. That's Ted Kennedy.
Listen, popsicles are undefeated in my mind. They also have Italian ice flavored ones now, which God bless my brother who sent me a pack of them, 500 in advance of the McHugh family reunion this weekend. So I got to freeze those up. I did a little sneak peek. They're fantastic. $2 bills. I'm with you, Ron. I didn't see them till later in life. And in my mind as a kid, right, you thought they were worth $10 or, they were, they're so rare. They're worth more than $2. Right. They're really not. And Apocalypse Now made such a profound impact on me. Martin Sheen, Robert Duvall. I think at times people confuse that with maybe Full Metal Jacket later on in life. But Apocalypse Now really, truly, I just think the height of American cinema and really drove home to me how awful the Vietnam War was as a kid who sort of missed it on TV younger. So I don't think there's a bad choice today, Ricky. So I'm going to defer to you. I just went with the first choice, but where are you going, fella?
Apocalypse Now, again, I'll be honest, I don't know if I've ever seen it start to finish. And I think it was a little early for me. It was like 79, as Ron said. I was 8. I don't know if I was ready for loving the smell of napalm in the morning.
Yeah.
At that time in my life. I mean, certainly Robert Duvall, Dennis Hopper, there's a lot of great actors in that. $2 bills. Yeah. Isn't it weird how we all have the same memory that $2 bills were somehow this extra special thing? And if somebody gave you a $2 bill, it's like, you better save it. And
right.
One day, you'll be able to somehow buy a car with that or something. Here's a little bit of Ronnie t-shirts trivia, Tim, that you don't know. When Ronnie goes to strip clubs, he likes to put $2 bills in the G-strings, Tim. Just to send a message that he's the alpha. Yeah.
No, Ricky. No. I'm the other way. I don't make it rain. I make it hail. I just throw nickels.
Yeah, Ron was once arrested in Tupelo, Mississippi for throwing a nickel too hard at someone's labia. Popsicles. So why 500? Why 500 of these things, Tim? I mean, the McHugh family is going to destroy Italian ice.
How many people are going to be at this reunion?
Like 20, like 25. The kids will rip through.
8. That's 8 a person.
The kids will rip through 4 before breakfast.
No, that's 20 a person.
Yeah. We'll see. I've already tapped into him a little bit. It was my brother's thing. It's easier than ice cream, honestly, than in the summer. We'll do some ice cream as well, but good deal of popsicles.
Pop ices were always the shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love those things. And then the Steve Miller Band, who I've already extolled the virtues of. So my vote here, look, it's I'm gonna have to vote for Steve Miller Band also.
All right, we're gonna fire it. I voted for Apocalypse Now. Again, I could have done any of these. I just chose Apocalypse Now because it was first in the queue here. So we'll fire it. But more importantly, we need to figure out what the 25-25-25 is, Ricky, because we have achieved
as close as you can get.
Yeah, we've achieved it. So we can fire it here.
I'm excited. I'm assuming we're between 23 and 27.
Nope. Even better, Ricky.
In every case?
Nope. Better. Nope. Better.
Holy shit.
24.
Rex Crum, you sweet bastard. Look at that. Look at that. I've been trying to do this now for, how long? This has been going on for over a year.
Yep.
And Rex Crum shows up and just says, hold my IPA. And there it is. America reacting in the only way
it has finally happened.
The only
we
way
have
we can.
achieved unanimity amongst the American people. The great
Unbelievable.
Ricky Cobb has crafted it.
Cats are high-fiving each other. Some are saying that perhaps this should be a national holiday going forward. Guys, what can I say? Rex Crum, I just had the good judgment to look at it and greenlight it. That's my only contribution.
So
it's amazing.
Tim, I feel like the three that don't win, they all have to go in the tit, right?
100%. Yeah, the tit is pretty much full. We're gonna have to roll the tit out second week of August. I was doing some of the math over the weekend, but we've talked about having Rex Crum or a fan on the show, Ricky, and I think this is our avenue now to have a true fan. We've had the Yacht Rock playlist consultant, but now I think a true fan, Rex Crum. Yes. We'll track him down, maybe have him on the show tomorrow, just to find out what his inspiration was for all this.
Yeah, we need Rex to take us through the thought process here, the genius that led us to this moment. It's no Monday goulash, I'll tell you that. Should Monday K-Mart goulash go in? Should that go in a poll of the day? See what people are thinking. I remember this. When K-Mart had a fucking cafeteria. Where does, hey, it's Monday. I think I'm going to go grab some goulash at the local K-Mart cafeteria. Rank on your list of amazing life decisions. How could you possibly have a bad week after saying, honey, I think I'm just going to head down to K-Mart. Grab a Hungarian treat today.
Oh, how about the fact, Ricky, that they did liver and onions too? Could there be anything grosser than getting liver and onions at K-Mart?
Liver and onions at K-Mart. Liver and onions is not going to be appealing anywhere, but when you add K-Mart to it, it somehow makes it that much more disgusting.
Yeah.
We got a blue light special on liver and onions. Head on over to the cafeteria, K-Mart shoppers.
But they advertised that, Ricky. They literally had pictures of liver and onions. They advertised it like, hey,
yeah,
you guys are going to want to come on Tuesday. We got liver and onions for $1.99.
Different. Adults were just built different back in that era. You know, they really were. I don't think it flies with Generation X, Ron. Here's one for you. My man Mac Miller was honored with a bobblehead at PNC Park in Pittsburgh, his hometown. And I was excited to see this. They're going for a lot of money on the secondary market, from what I gather. So
from your search on eBay, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
From your search on eBay.
I did not search on eBay. I read an article that just happened to mention that these things were going for a lot on the secondary market.
Read it.
So Mac's mother threw out the first pitch there. And I've always said, he is one of those artists where people say, oh, the Super 70s guy is a big Mac Miller fan. And I tweeted that once and a couple of people got mad at me, which was weird. But it's always weird. You never know how people are going to react to anything sometimes. But I love his work, man. The swimming album, I think, is just so outstanding. I discovered it during the pandemic, and big fan of Mac Miller. So some of you know what I'm talking about. He's a legend, much in the same way that Bill Buckner is a legend, Ron. And I know that a lot of people, when they hear the name Bill Buckner, they think of Game 6 of the 1986 World Series. I think of this 1981 Donruss card. Because Bill Buckner's mustache was so goddamn legendary, he kept 2 spares on his forehead and a third on his neck. Take a look at this. You can't risk. There it is.
I don't think I've ever seen that ever before, Ricky.
No, the neck. I thought the neck was actually someone's, like a kid, was using a marker on a card.
100% what I thought too when this popped up.
Yeah, he's got kind of a little bit of a. Just look at that. His chest hair is so dominant, it just made
got
its
a
way
lan-
up to his neck, and now it's
he's got
looking
a
around.
landing strip. He's got a landing strip on his neck.
Well,
He's
pointing
got
to
a
his
landing
mouth. I
strip
don't
on
know.
his neck. Yeah. No,
Good Lord.
no low T for Bill Buckner. I'll tell you that right now. That is
He
a
definitely
man who is
shaped that.
producing.
Yeah, Tim, hence the landing
it
strip.
seems like
Yeah.
it's like the Hairway to Heaven there, only it's making its way up to his. I don't know. It's if you enjoy content such as this, why don't you consider signing up for Ricky Cobb's Rewind, our bi-weekly newsletter? It's as simple as heading over to outkick.com/newsletters and then entering whatever garbage email address you use for stuff like this. It's absolutely free. You can subscribe at any time, but only a fool would do that because we're having way too much fun. It
You
is
said
your
unsubscribe.
backstage pass to the Ricky Cobb show.
You meant
And,
unsubscribe.
Did I say subscribe?
Yes, only a fool would subscribe.
You can unsubscribe.
Like Bill Buckner.
Only a fool would subscribe. Well, hey, look, if you're watching this program,
Yeah.
you're my kind of fool. So,
Yeah.
Do you have a
only
landing
fool
strip?
would
Do you have a
subscribe.
throat landing
Yeah,
strip?
head
Let's see.
over
Take
there.
your shit off.
landing
Hi.
Let's see.
Hi,
What do you have
what is
under
going
there?
on with the Buckner landing strip is shaking us all up here today on the program. But yes, outkick.com/newsletters. Sign up. We're saying that it's the ultimate mixtape for your inbox. And in fact, this week's edition, for the first time, I'm actually going to include a mixtape with it. This was Ronnie T-Shirt's brilliant idea. We thought that we had Ricky Cobb's Rewind all the way 10 out of 10. And then Ron says, why don't you actually make a little mixtape for everybody each week? And I thought, well, that's beautiful. That is in the spirit of this. We're going to do that. So we're going to have 10 or 12 songs for you. About the same amount. How many could you get on a cassette back in the days, guys? About 10 or 12, not more than that, right? If
They
we're
were
going to be
60 minutes.
true
Weren't they
to
like
the era.
60 minutes?
Yeah.
Most
they were
60.
like
The
60
90s came
minutes.
out later. Yeah, the 90s are much later.
Yeah. Those came out later. So it'll be like a 10 or 12 song playlist that I'll be curating for your enjoyment as well. So you have that to look forward to as well when you sign up for Ricky Cobb's Rewind.